Hey guys, today's video I'm going to be showing you guys the changes I've made to my generator setup. As you guys may know, if you've been watching my channel and seen some of my videos lately, I completely altered my generator setup. I've had quite a few videos on it. One of them was actually a school project video. So anyways, there's been a few videos on this project, and if you'd seen them, you'd know that I turned my manual generator setup into a fully automatic setup, where I took a standalone portable generator and turned it into a automatic starting and self-monitored and fully automatic generator setup, where it will start itself, turn itself off, tell me conditions, send me emails when it's turned on, when it's turned back off, if there's any issues, using what's called a V6 AutoGen Smart Controller. Really awesome product. It worked exactly what I needed to do, and paired that with an automatic transfer switch to transfer the load automatically when the generator starts up. Works beautifully, but there were some kinks, and like anything, a project like this doesn't always happen first try. Not everything's always perfect. It takes time to get the little kinks out, and that's what I am giving you guys an update on today for what I've changed. So there's been a few changes. I've been working with the company to get back to you quick. Very helpful, did exactly what I was asking for, and I was bugging those guys all the time. Can you change this? Can you change this? Can I change this? And they were really good. So the first thing I wanted to be changed was, by default, the generator. It would crank the engine over the first attempt without choke, pause for 5 seconds, then crank it over for another try with choke, and if it still didn't start, pause it for another 5 seconds, then try again with choke. So it would try to start the engine, cranking it over 3 times, 2 of which had choke applied to the engine, which is good if the generator's turning off and on throughout the day. Though mine's an emergency power standby generator. It's not something that's getting turned on often, so it's always going to be cold when it's asked to turn on. And you're going to have some November, December, January winter storm come on, and you could have a power outage at 3 a.m. when it's freezing cold outside, 20 below. You just really never know. So I wanted that choke to be applied every time, because 99.9% of the times the generator's asked to start, it's going to need the choke. The engine's going to be cold. So that's the first thing I had them change, was to put the choke on all 3 attempts of starting the generator, which now the generator starts quicker, because it used to be it would never start without choke for that first run, and then it would start on the second attempt. So now the generator is starting on that first attempt. Another thing I had changed was, which I actually had to change before too, and then it seemed like this change got undone in one of these future firmware updates I had them do with altering it, where by default it pauses for 5 seconds in between starting cycles. However, the problem is once the generator had started, it took a little bit for the relays inside the generator to close in and actually output 120 volts, which is how I've got this set up to recognize the generator is indeed running. So basically, once it receives that 120 volts into the controller from the generator, the controller says, okay, I'm getting power from the generator. It's obviously started. I don't need to apply any more starting sequences. So the issue is because of that delay, it would maybe start on the first attempt, but it would take maybe more than 5 seconds for the power to actually get to the controller, for the generator to put the power out. So the controller didn't think it was running, so it would try and start turning the engine over again once it was already running. The starter motor engaging onto the engine that's already running, which is like turning a key in your car if you have an older car once the car's already running. You don't want to do that, because you're engaging those gears together to try and start it. So it didn't damage anything, though I don't want it to keep happening. So the way I worked around that is put a 10-second delay in between starting sequences, so the generator has enough time to start actually putting out power before it says, okay, it's not running, try again. Now there's a bigger delay and more time for it to actually get going and figure out the generator's running. Another thing that got changed was I had the delay on the generator changed, because what was happening is any quick power bump, like this, a little power bump won't do it, but if the power goes out for a second or two, or really drops down, it would try and start the generator. But then the power would come back on instantly, probably before the generator had even had time to start, or it had just started, and it would end up shutting down but getting kind of confused, and it would end up giving me an error, basically saying I tried to start, but power was still here, so something's not right, so I'd have to reset the generator each time. So the way around this, which is just better for not having excessive wear in the starter anyways, is I had them program in a 10-second delay, 10-second power loss delay, where basically if the power will go out, and then after 10 seconds of the power being out, it'll then start the generator. And then also for power return, if for some reason BC Hydro Power Company closes power back in, but it doesn't hold, and it just comes on for a few seconds and drops off, I also wanted that avoided too, so I had him program in a 30-second cooldown time, where 30 seconds after the power has been on and holding sufficiently, that's when it will shut back down. So the power will come on, and then after it's been on for 30 seconds, then the generator will shut back down, and then this can transfer back over to utility power once that power is stable. So that was the changes that were made with the controller. Another change I made, which I don't know if I'll keep this one, was with this automatic transfer switch. Transfer switch can have the settings changed, and it's with a little jumper on this guy here, which is back there. So the way this was configured before is this would transfer over to generator power once generator power was present for 20 seconds. Maybe it was 30 seconds. It seemed more realistically about 30 seconds, which my idea of that was just to help not throw so much load on the generator instantly. However, that delay was bugging me, so I've just switched it over to no delay, and I've never actually tried it. I just started recording this video, and it's now set to no delay, so as soon as generator power is there, it will transfer over. I wish you could set this more custom, like maybe 10 seconds or 5 seconds, but you can't, so it's going to be instant. The load's going to get thrown on the generator, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. So I want to try out this whole new setup, and the generator is cold right now. It hasn't been ran. I mean, it's not cold like a winter day. It's 30 degrees Celsius out here, and the cooling system has came on in the generator ventilation. Though I want to replicate an actual power failure, because you can just pull out this fuse and then generator will start, and then it will switch over to generator, but utility was always there, so it's like a pretty clean switch over. The lights barely even flicker. I want to do it where we actually cut power and replicate a full-on power outage to see this all work. I'm going to open this door so you guys can hear the generator running. Since I'm only going to have 2 phones, or maybe 1 phone recording today, since the rest of them are dead, we'll see. We will have about 10 seconds until the generator starts, and then however long until the generator starts putting out power, and then the transfer switch should close in. Okay, I'm going to head into the house now and shut off the breaker, and I'll put a timer on screen so we can see how long this whole process actually takes. Close out so you guys can see a little better. I got the transfer switch camera going on right here, so I can probably actually put in a security camera clip too, because there's a security camera in the generator building, which is ran off of the UPS up there underground to power the camera, to keep the cameras always going. Anyways, I'll shut up and go in the house. That was pretty quick. Powered off of generator power. I can feel the air conditioning is running. Everything's running. Lighting, life safety systems, it's all going. Transfer switch is closed in on generator power, isolated from utility. generator is running. This might put a high temp on the fire alarm actually. It's a hot day already. We're pulling in probably 30, 31 Celsius air. So we might get a high temp alarm, so that'll actually restore power. Hey, come here. Can I pick you up? Can I pick you up? Oh, you're big and heavy. Hold on. I'm gonna roll you over. I'm gonna roll you over. 110-pound freaking dog. All right, there we go. That wasn't the smoothest transition back to utility power. That was more than a quick flicker. That was kind of a decent flicker. Sometimes it goes smoother. You never really know. Sometimes it's real smooth and the lights barely flicker. Sometimes it's, I don't know, just seems to depend on the situation. I'm not sure exactly why that is, but yeah. Okay, well, that was the test. It went pretty well. I think that 10-second delay is nice. Actually, I should have screen recorded it too on should have screen recorded it on that generator app where you can control it remotely and monitor it. That would have been a cool thing, but yeah, anyways, it basically says 10-second utility failed delay, and then says when it's doing the starting sequence 2-wire start or whatever, and then once power comes back on, it does a 30-second cooldown time. Okay guys, I know this was a quick one, but that's all I wanted to show and test myself, because I haven't tested it yet, to make sure all these setting changes are working. So I'm happy with that. That's working good. I'm actually starting to think this generator project might finally be all good, all working, all done. Mind you, I say that and I'll come up with something else to change, but it's definitely working quite well now. So I think that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you do have any comments or questions, feel free to put those in the comment section. Alright guys, that's all I got. Thanks for watching.